I spent the first 3 years of my marriage trying to change my husband, trying to fix him, trying to get him into counseling, trying to hold everything in my relationship with my own hands. It was a lot. It was too much. Eventually, I released it. Eventually, I just let go of everything. I surrendered. And I allowed God to destroy the faulty foundation that we had built our marriage on so that He could rebuild something new. Here's the thing. When you've lived inside old patterns, beliefs, and coping mechanisms your whole life, the new can often feel threatening. It can feel uncomfortable. It can feel unfamiliar. And because of that, many people choose the pain that they know over the promise that they do not understand. But transformation requires release. It requires you to let go of the old so that you can make room for the new. Because scripture tells us that you cannot pour new wine into old wineskin. Why? Because scripture makes it very clear that if you do, they will burst. And so many of you are crying out for healing, restoration, and transformation in your marriages. Yet you refuse to let go of the very beliefs, wounds, patterns that are blocking you from experiencing the new that is coming. The trauma that shaped you as a child, the survival behaviors that protected you when you were young, are the very things running your relationship today. It is not that you cannot experience intimacy, love, safety, tenderness, and connection. It is that as long as trauma is the operating system in your life, every time love tries to come close to you, your wounds will speak louder than the truth. Your wounds will tell you that you must perform to be loved, that you will be rejected if you dare to love, that if you surrender, you will be abandoned, that you must control everything in order to stay safe, that you are only loved because of your outside appearance, that your worth is measured by your achievements, and that your children complete you. And those belief systems build a prison and a ditch that many never climb out. You cannot escape bondage using the wrong tools. You cannot climb out when you have no revelation on what has been keeping you there to begin with. I escaped, but I didn't in the way that most people try. I didn't run away from my marriage, no. I confronted what was holding me hostage. Because the ditch that I was sitting in, I quickly realized that I wasn't the only one that faced this in my family. That no, I witnessed my mom, my auntie, my grandma, and many other family members sit in the same ditch that I sat in long before me. This wasn't new. I quickly realized it was a cycle. And scripture says that God visits the iniquities of the forefathers from the third and the fourth generation. And now epigenetics is saying that trauma can be passed down through the DNA. Is this a coincidence? Or is science finally catching up to what God has been telling us for generations? Epigenetics simply gives us language to what scripture revealed first. The inherited beliefs, patterns, and wounds shaping our lives until someone decides to break the chain. So how did I break free? Well, I partnered with God and I let go of trying to control the relationship. I began my own healing journey. Why? Because I quickly realized that my destiny, purpose could not depend on whether or not someone was willing to change. I didn't want to wait for my husband to heal in order for me to experience what I wanted to experience, because I realized that it is foolish to hand your freedom to the unwilling. So what did I do? I began to address the spirit. Because the spirit realm holds information behind the patterns that you see in your life today. Revelation set me free where bondage tried to hold me captive. Many of you are wrestling with battles that began long before you, battles rooted in generational trauma, unbroken strongholds, and inherited pain. Secondly, I dealt with the mind and the soul. This is where memory, belief systems, and identity are stored. Neurotheology shows that meditating on scripture for 8 minutes a day for over 12 weeks can physically restructure the brain. Miracles many thought required surgery have been reversed by simply renewing the mind. Too many believers neglect this power. Too many people in general neglect this power, forgetting that we are made in the image of a God that spoke the word into existence. If he creates with his word and we bear his likeness, it should not surprise us that we can reshape our lives with just his truth. I then dealt with the body. My physical life began to reflect the healing that took place in the spirit, the mind, and the soul, and now the body. But many of you try to heal the body first. You become discouraged when anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, chronic stress, anger, sickness, dysfunction does not move. But you are treating symptoms, expecting the results that only come when you address the root cause of your problem. So what you need to do is address the root cause. Because when you heal the spirit and renew the mind and restore the soul, the body will follow. And because of this, your marriage will transform. When you heal yourself first, everything around you has to transform. Nothing can remain the same. You will begin to realize and understand what real love truly is. You will begin to realize you will learn how to pour from overflow and not survival. You will set boundaries when it is necessary from a place of wholeness and not a place of fear. You will stop needing others to complete what God can only fix in your life. And that change creates a ripple effect, not just in your marriage, in your home, in your children, and in every single area of your life that your feet touch. Marriage restoration is on the other side of your healing, your transformation. Stop waiting for your husband to heal himself, to fix himself before you begin your healing journey, because when you partner with God, when you heal the spirit, when you renew the mind and the soul, and you tend to the body, everything that is connected to you will and must feel the impact of the transformation that is taken root in your life.